Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we are back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 41 and we're currently over here down at the bottom of the Mumbo Jumbo, ready to start recording another video. And I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited to start recording this one for two main reasons. Number one is that I have got a day off college today. That's always a good feeling when you have the long weekend. It is Monday morning and I'm not suffering from the same Monday morning blues that I usually get because I start Monday off in accounting, I do believe. I think that's my first subject on a Monday at 9 in the morning, and I don't have that right now, and that is enough to put me in a good mood. But most importantly, I'm super fired up to play a little bit of Hermitcraft today. I've got a bunch of really awesome plans, loads of cool things that I want to do, so yes, I'm very excited to start building. And the first thing that we're going to be doing in today's episode is to do with the tunnel area. For those of you who don't know, in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, we built all of this stuff and the stuff down there as well. But one of my main comments about this build here was that I didn't like the fact that it was all iron going right the way down to the bottom. I thought it looked a little bit plain, so I've decided that we're going to change it up. I've got a few ideas in mind, so I'm going to do one on one side and one on the other, then we'll compare them. So here we go, we have got one design on the left hand side and we have got one design on the right hand side. So we'll start things off with the left hand side. This was actually sent to me via Twitter by a guy called David Brinterson, and I just want to pass comment about this. If you do want to get in contact with me, Twitter is by far the best place you can go. YouTube inboxes just don't work in the slightest. They're just full of spam and rubbish, so I don't really look at that. YouTube comments, they're actually pretty good, and I do reply to quite a lot of those, but there's thousands of them, so it's very hard to keep up. Twitch inbox is basically non-existent for me. I don't look at that in the slightest. And my email is good, but only if you're trying to chat to me about serious things. Don't just email me for a chat because that clogs up my inbox and the chances are I won't reply. So Twitter is good. If you just want to have a chat with me, that is the place to go, and there's a link to that down in the description. But as I say, this was sent to me via Twitter by David Brinterson, and I really like it. I think it looks pretty cool, but the one thing that I will say is that sea lanterns. There's a lot of sea lanterns. We've got sea lanterns in the walls, sea lanterns in the ceiling, and sea lanterns in the floor. If you put them on the other side as well, it's going to be even more sea lanterns, and I personally think that might get just a little bit too much for this design. So sadly, I'm not going to be going for this one. Instead, I'm going to be going for this side. It's a little bit more boring. It's nowhere near as exciting as this side, and I know that some of you are going to disagree with my decision, but I quite like this. We've got some water going behind stained glass. It looks cool. It works. It does the job. It breaks up the ice. So yes, I like it, and I'm going to build it on the other side. I swear it was only a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about how we had loads and loads of glass and we weren't going to have to worry about it for quite some time. Well, it seems that times have changed just a little bit because we only have 3 pieces of white stained glass now. We only have 3 glass blocks. That is it. That is all the glass that we've got. So it looks like we're going to have to go out and gather up some more of that. But in other news, and slightly better news I might add, we have finished both sides of the tunnel now and it is looking good. I'm happy with the way that this looks. This was a good decision. I'm glad that we went for this design simply because I think if we had gone for the other one, it just would have been a little bit busy, a little bit too much going on in the tunnel, and this is meant to be quite a simple, basic transportation system that just takes us through into the next room. Nothing else. It's not meant to be an art installation or anything like that. It's just meant to be a simple little design. But thank you ever so much to the person that submitted me that idea via Twitter. It really is lovely to see that sort of thing. And if you ever have any inputs that you want to make on my episodes, then as I say, Twitter's the place to go. Send me screenshots and things because I always look at them. But anyway, moving on from this project now. I believe the tunnel is done. I'm happy with it as it is. So now we're going to be moving down into this section. Now there was a very quick project that I needed to do. There was something that I really needed to do in this area. I believe it was something to do with the chicken farm. It was going to be like a tiny project. Minuscule. It was going to take a couple of seconds. But for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. It's completely slipped my mind. There was something essential that I needed to do that you guys were getting angry about in the comments section, but I've forgotten it. So I apologise. We're going to have to leave that one for another day because I can't think of it in the slightest. So we're going to be moving on to this side of the room in which we are going to be building another farm. We've got the farm on that side. We're going to be building a farm on this side. It's obviously not going to be a chicken farm. We're instead going to be making a bread maker. Now that's where you have the dirt that gets retracted, then you have the bone meal and everything. Allows you to get tons and tons of wheat, tons and tons of carrots, tons and tons of potatoes in seconds. So it seems like a pretty good idea to get one of those in the base. So I'm going to start cracking on with that one, and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I have to say, guys, progress is slow. You would have thought someone who makes a lot of tutorials would be good at following them, but sadly, I am rubbish. I am absolutely awful at following tutorials, so that's not going particularly well. But in other news, I've also built this in entirely the wrong place, which means I'm going to have to tear all of it up and rebuild the whole thing once again. Oh, that doesn't feel too good. That does not feel too good. Finally, after lots of fiddling, rebuilding, rewiring and all that sort of stuff, we have got ourselves a functional nano farm. Now, I feel the need to mention that this isn't actually my design. This is a design by Exumavoid, and the reason that I'm using Exuma's design is simply because his nano farms are the beans. I cannot come up with anything better. Trust me, I have tried to come up with faster designs, and it's just simply impossible. They are so quick, they produce a lot of resources, which is why I've decided to do that one, and a link to his tutorial can hopefully be found in the description. I'm pretty notoriously bad at remembering links in the description, so there's about a 50% chance that it will be there. But as you can see, we have got ourselves a nice looking mechanism. These are all for bone meal, and all we have to do is stand on this pressure plate here. We get ourselves an annoying noise, the dirt goes back and forth, but that is what will allow us to get loads and loads of resources. But what we have to do now is, of course, we have to fill this system up with some bone meal. So I'm going to head up to my mob spawner, I'm going to pick up some bones from my massive supply of them, and then we will get this thing up and running. Just chucking in the final load now. We have a ton of bone meal in this one, ton of bone meal in this one. So we're just doing the final chest here. And of course, it is all flowing into hoppers, which is flowing into separate sets of dispensers. We have got dispensers down at the bottom here, and we have got dispensers up at the top here, which means that this thing is going to absolutely eat through bone meal. It really is going to eat through quite a lot of it, which means that we're actually probably going to need a little bit more than the stuff that I'm putting in right here. Oh boy, back up to the mob spawner, I suppose. So here we go, we are going in for the test around about now, and I have pretty much everything crossed that I can possibly cross. Here's the deal, okay? Redstone and servers don't tend to mix. For those of you who have seen Hermitcraft Series 2, episode 98 and 99, I tried to build some redstone piston elevators. Neither of them went particularly well, and that still makes me angry, so hopefully we have better luck this time around. Here we go, stand on the pressure plate, it starts firing the bone meal, and all we have to do is till the soil. That would be a good start. I was holding down right click then and nothing was happening, but here we go. It works-ish? Sort of. I mean, we're occasionally getting wheat. We've got 9 wheat from that. Although that's not particularly promising, is it? Servers and redstone. I'm going to try a different produce. I really hope this works. It does seem to work a tiny bit better on potatoes, but as you just saw then, we are suffering from a little bit of strange lag here. I started off with 10 potatoes there, and we now have 66 with 1 rotten potato. So that's not so bad. Let's try things out with the carrots. We'll place all of these back in here. So we start off with 64 carrots. Right, let's give it a go. Just hold down the right click button. It seems to work okay. It's doing a half decent job. We're getting a nice amount of resources, and I'm fairly happy with how it's going. Carrots seem to be doing really well. Hold up a second. That seems to be working fine. Alright, so it works well with carrots. It works okay with potatoes. Barely works with wheat. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit gutted about that one because I thought it was all gonna work perfectly and we were going to have ourselves a sweet farm. I do just want to mention that this is not a fault with Exuma's design. It seems to be a fault with the lag that we're getting on the server, but that's just something that you have to deal with, and it works. It does the job, so good stuff. Onwards and upwards, I suppose. Right about now, I have got a few odd jobs that need doing before we get onto our main project that we're going to be working on today. So, first things first, we are finally going to be getting rid of this horrible cobblestone ladder, and we are going to be replacing it with a nice, lovely sandstone ladder. That's the colour that I've chosen for doing this one. It's one of those things, it fits in with the rest of the room, and that does it for me. It seems like a good idea to just replace it with sandstone. I was considering doing some form of slime block based contraption that launched us up into the ceiling, but then I thought to myself, is that really going to work? I mean, you saw how the server reacts to redstone and slime blocks and things. It looks like as well we might have lost a couple of ladders there, because I don't know if we're going to have enough, are we? Yes, we can make it up to the top with that. Okay, so that is that ladder done. But as I say, I was going to do a slime block based thing, but I honestly didn't think that we'd be able to launch ourselves that high up. So that will do. That is an improvement. It's not wonderful, I have to say. It's not beautiful, but that works. That works for me. Thanking you kindly, Mr. Tango Tech. He has given me 14 eggs to start populating my chicken farm. It's a good start, alright? Don't worry about it. It's a good start. We should be able to get ourselves off the ground for this one. I've been doing a little bit more breeding and also a little bit more egg firing. As you can see, my aim isn't particularly brilliant, which is why we've got a few resident chickens now. But hopefully these guys do their thing, drop all their eggs in the hopper, and then we end up with a ton of them by tomorrow. Because I'm going to be leaving this game AFK running overnight so that we can gather up all that stuff. But anyway, we're going to leave that one because of course that's a bit of a waiting game. And we're going to be moving on to another project because we're going to be mining out the area to make way for the new storage and sorting system that we're going to be building. Now obviously this is going to be a pretty massive area. I don't actually know the dimensions just yet, but it's going to be pretty big, so I'm just going to try and play it safe and just mine out a huge area. So the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to move this beacon over down to the bottom. So what do you think to the new addition to this room, guys? I mean, I liked it beforehand, but I have to say, this really makes the difference, doesn't it? I mean, boy, oh boy, what a beautiful piece of kit this is. Of course, I'm just kidding with you. This is just a temporary build to make way for the beacon that we are placing down here. So we're going to chuck that down right there. I've mined out all the area, so it should go up. And yes, the beacon beam has gone up into the sky. That is good to see. Right, we want it to be on haste. And we're going to need to chuck in actually a piece of iron there. So let's quickly convert that iron block into the iron there. Right, iron goes in here, and then we need haste, and, oh, what's happened? What's happened to my beacon? How very strange. Does that mean that there's a block in front of it? Why am I not able to place in anything here? Okay, there we go. That was a bit bizarre. Haste there, and haste 2 there, and then we'll chuck in our iron, and bada bing, bada boom, we have got ourselves haste 2. Fantastic. I really don't know what happened then. So now, you guys guessed it, we are going to be doing a third-person time-lapse of me mining out this entire area. Honestly, don't really know how big this area has to be, but I think I'm just going to go overboard. I'm going to mine out far too much area, more than we actually need, because let's face it, there is no problem with having too much space. So I'm going to crack on with that one. Hopefully you enjoy the time-lapse. So I was reading through the comments of one of the previous Hermitcraft episodes, and a lot of you were asking where the time-lapse chats have gone. Now don't worry, they aren't gone completely. We are not getting rid of them. I just haven't had a chance to do one for a while, but I thought I would treat you to one in today's episode. And in this one, it's going to be a little bit different because it doesn't relate to me. It doesn't relate to Minecraft particularly. This actually relates to current events. I'm sure almost all of you have heard, but Top Gear, which is one of my favorite TV programs, has been postponed. Okay, it has been postponed. It has been temporarily cancelled, they're saying at the minute. That's sort of the words that are going around at the minute. And I just thought I would do a little bit of an input here, talk about it a little bit, because obviously I have opinions of this sort of thing, because I absolutely love cars. For those of you who don't know, I really, really do love cars. Cars are my passion, and obviously that means that Top Gear is pretty high on the list in terms of my favourite TV programs. In fact, I would say it is honestly my favourite TV program. I'm going to preface this by saying that I don't believe in violence in the slightest, and if what they say is true and Jeremy Clarkson did throw a punch at one of the producers, then he should be punished for that. There's no doubt about it. He should be punished for that. He shouldn't be allowed to get away with it, and there should be consequences for his actions. But I don't know if this is me being selfish, but I personally don't believe that they should cancel Top Gear. Now, it's not just because this is one of my favourite TV programs, and obviously I don't want to see it go, but I can't help but notice everyone seems to really quite enjoy Top Gear. I am yet to meet someone that doesn't actually like Top Gear, and it strikes me that it's less about the cars and more about the three of them together. Here's the thing, okay, my mum likes Top Gear, she doesn't like cars. My cousin likes Top Gear, doesn't like cars. A lot of my friends who aren't particularly interested in cars, they all like Top Gear, and it strikes me that it's no longer the cars, okay? The cars aren't the thing that people are watching for. They're watching it for a bunch of old men just messing around together being friends. And that's the issue, is that if you get rid of Jeremy Clarkson, you can't just replace him because the dynamic just won't be there anymore. Top Gear will go downhill and it will nowhere near be as good, which is why I don't think they should fire Jeremy Clarkson, because that means there will be no more Top Gear. You can't replace him, so it will just go. It'll poof, it's gone. And that means that obviously, you know, Sunday evenings, they will be pretty much ruined for me. I've got nothing to look forward to on the BBC. And that really is a shame. It's an asset to the BBC, and it's an asset to British television. And I know a lot of people around the world really enjoy Top Gear. And as I say, it would just be a massive shame if it does go. And by the look of things at the minute, it does look like it's on its way out. So needless to say, I am a little bit concerned. I will say that Jeremy Clarkson deserves to be punished for his actions, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think they should do that by cancelling Top Gear, simply because it will ruin my evenings and it will ruin quite a lot of other people's evenings. But anyway, down in the description will be a bunch of links to YouTube channels that I would consider to be alternative Top Gears if it does end up going down the pot. There's a bunch of people down there. Chris Harris, for example, fantastic car videos. X-Car produced brilliant car videos as well. Drive, all brilliant stuff. So if you're into your cars, then head down there. But anyway, back to the Minecraft bits and pieces. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A ton of mining later, and we have got ourselves a huge area to play with. We have got so much space. This should be absolutely perfect for building our storage system. Hopefully we have enough room. I actually don't know, as I say, I haven't really planned this out. I just wanted to mine out the area so we had plenty of room to play with for all of the redstone and things that go in. So I would have thought, taking a look at this area that we've got here, we have got plenty of room. And we're going to be able to build a massive storage system that is going to have all the redstone fiddly bits and all that sort of thing all put in nice and easily because we have got the mining area ready. So there we go, that is that spot done, and I'm feeling pretty positive about that. And not only that, we're also filling up our chests with all of the stone, cobblestone and all that sort of stuff. I do believe that we should have, yes, we've got one light on in the storage silo here because we've managed to fill up all of this chest. We also have 4 double chests of cobblestone and stone out in the storage area, so we're doing pretty well on those. We've almost got more of that stuff than we do of iron, and that's saying something. Speaking of this storage area up here, on the Monday evening live stream that I did earlier on in the week, we actually managed to make some pretty serious progress, and we've managed to make a super smelter. Now, for those of you who don't know what a super smelter is, I am going to try and get inside here and take a look at some of the redstone, just to show you what it's all about. Basically, what it does is you put a bunch of items in this chest here. This is the input chest. They all flow into the hoppers, then get distributed equally between furnaces. Now that means that all of the furnaces are working together, so all of the furnaces are active at once, and it separates all the items out, smelts them all very quickly, then drops them all off in the chest down at the bottom. So it works pretty nicely, and the design is my own. Hopefully I'll remember to put a link to that down in the description as well. So many links are going down in the description today, but hopefully I'll remember to put that one down there because it really is quite a smart design and it works absolutely wonderfully. All of the items get distributed perfectly and you have yourself a very fast smelting system. Now for the final project of today's episode, I'm going to be filling up the chicken farm with the eggs. That is right, I left it AFK running for only about 2 hours. I actually forgot to go AFK overnight, so that was a bit of a shame. But in theory, these chicken... where have they just gone? Have they just come back? Yes, okay, that's good. I thought they just wandered off and somehow got out of the chicken farm. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be chucking a bunch of eggs down here. We've actually got a full chest up at the top, but for the minute I'm just going to be chucking these ones in just because we don't want to cause too much lag on the server. That's the main reason why a lot of the chickens in the original chicken farm that I built in Hermit Hills were actually removed, just because it was causing quite a bit of lag and I don't really want to do that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I have run out of time for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. I've had a lot of fun today. We got a bunch of stuff done. It's a bit of a shame that our nano farm didn't work particularly well, but it still works with carrots and potatoes, so I'm not particularly fussed. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.